Hey guys, welcome to Vanier View. I am Beverly, and these are my co-hosts.
I'm Shazia.
Jared.
Steven.
So today we'll be talking about a few things we'd like to take a view on. The first thing that I saw this week was the H&M lawsuit against Revoke. So basically, Revoke had his graffiti posted, and H&M did a sort of backdrop on this art. So Revoke sent a cease and desist letter to H&M, which then responded with a lawsuit against him. So I don't know, what's your take on this? I mean, do you think he has a right? I mean, it is a unlegal art, so there is no legal copyrights.
I mean, I'm not against, because it's a form of freedom of expression, but the problem is, it's being done. I read a few articles on it. I saw it too, and then it says H&M actually went to the Bureau of Parks and Recreation, and they saw that the fact of him doing the graffiti was actually he didn't get any authorization. It was illegal. So I don't know. I'm kind of torn in both ways, because it's his stuff, and he needs the recognition. He should be credited for it, but at the same time, it was done illegally, right?
But I mean, it's not it's not like how H&M has it on a picture of a shirt, you know. It's not like an art like that, you know. It's an actual picture for their actual clothing line. So again, it is a hard topic to be. You kind of have to be on both sides. But yet again, you can just say the exact same way, like how an architect from a building, someone takes a picture of the building, doesn't give credit to it. You know, the architect can say, you know, you're criticizing my work, you know.
But then again, you have to have permission to actually take photo of the establishment, because it's not yours. I mean, it's.
But then, can I just pipe in here? I think that in our days, I think that a lot of things are changing, and I think that the laws kind of need to get behind what's going on. Graffiti is now becoming the next big thing. You know, we're starting to commission artists to do it, especially if you look here in Montreal, Le Boulevard de Saint Laurent, filled with commissioned graffiti. And I get that it only becomes a problem when it's illegal, but I do think that you have to respect the artist and its art. People respect Banksy, where most of his stuff is also done illegally and on properties that shouldn't be done on, and yet we all go and take pictures of it. And so I think that, yes, it was illegal, but it still does remain somebody's art. And I think that that's super important to respect.
Okay, so, and what is your take on H&M sending a lawsuit to this guy? I mean, they could have just been no, we don't have to, reply, we don't have to, you have no copyrights, it's just a graffiti, you know? We're not doing anything with it. But no, they actually sent a lawsuit. That's something big. That's a jerk move. You don't do that. Oh, I'm going to sue you for talking to my friend.
But real talk, if I was CEO of H&M, or if
Mr.
I was behind
CEO.
this, you know,
CEO.
I got to sit up
Please, you take the floor. Thank you very much.
Why, thank you for giving me the platform. Real talk, I would actually, or whoever, if I was responsible for that campaign, to say, can we use your graffiti as a background for our campaign? I mean, because that's what
almost like the right thing to do in a way.
But pretty much that's what, anybody who wants to film something, you have to get that authorization.
Right,
and that authorization could follow through, okay, I'll give you, a few $1,000s to, so we can use your art, you know?
But, I mean, I also just want to say something as well. If an artist paints something on a wall that it doesn't belong to them, so they just oh, I'm going to put my art here. Does that consider them oh, this is my art on a wall that I didn't pay, you know?
But it falls into vandalism.
It does fall into vandalism. But again, the artist may say, no, it's not vandalism, it's art.
Yeah, and I feel does it count though if he didn't put his name? You know, every art you kind of sign your name on it. That's kind of a little copyright kind of thing. Oh, hey, this is mine, you know. But he did it. It's just kind of like a paint on the wall. I'm not taking sides because I don't really know where to stand. That's why I'm trying to get your take on this. But the thing is that really shook me was a lawsuit, especially H&M that has been through so much
Honestly.
smash from the audience. It's been messy.
It's not the first.
Yeah.
It's not the first.
So what do you guys think about this? Because I mean, H&M has been taking a lot of hits from the population about what happened before, which was the incident with the model and all. So
With the kid model.
Yeah, the kid
Yeah.
model. So I feel
the
like
coolest monkey in the jungle.
in the
That's-
jungle. I
yeah,
mean,
that's pretty
that
much it.
that was really.
I mean, I saw that for like a whole week straight, and I was like,
That's
Well,
not
that's
right.
not right.
what's with
That's
all the
not
memes?
right.
What's with this kid? And then I switched it. I was like, okay, H&M.
But yeah,
you
I
really
think-
gotta get your stuff done right,
Yeah.
you know?
I think
Right.
honestly, someone up there in campaigning really needs to kind of start to refocus. Like, you can't go around stealing people's art and having very racially insensitive, like, ideas going around. Like, this is a big brand. This is H&M, you know, and I think that they need to start taking responsibility for their actions and stuff like that, and that's
Yeah.
just not what I'm seeing.
Yeah.
Like, it's just like downfall after downfall
Yeah,
after
it
downfall.
just feels
It's
like
bro.
every time they do something, it's the wrong move. You got that wrong. You
I
tried
mean,
it.
Okay,
You
but then
thought
after
wrong.
that they go like, oh, it's something we did. Oops.
Yeah.
Okay, let's
Yeah.
move on.
And they,
But
they
then-
try to fix it, but
Yeah.
the thing is,
It's already there.
but
The
the-
damage is already done.
And on social media with the backlash,
Yeah.
like you'll
Right.
see like
Yeah.
on Twitter or Snapchat, they'll have like filter like the hashtag boycott, like
Yeah.
to
Right.
tell
Yeah.
people, all right, what they're doing is wrong and we should not follow through it. So y'all just cut
And,
it.
and what makes me kind of like, what aggravates me even more is that they do these big mistakes and then it's so easy for them to just come in and say, oh, we're sorry.
Yeah.
And then they do it again. And then it's again, oh, we're sorry. And then they do it again. And it's like, okay, but like,
You're obviously
Like,
not sorry
you're
if you
clearly
keep doing it
not
over and
doing
over
it.
again.
I mean, once you have money, you
They-
have power.
like,
right?
yeah.
Right, no.
And the
That's
thing
You
money
is-
don't
over
have to shut them
power.
up.
Yeah.
Like, yo,
There was-
we do our own thing. Like, you
It's
got
like,
nothing
okay,
to say.
here's some money. Shh, please.
Pretty much, you know?
Yeah.
Or no, we have to do under the table. You know?
Okay.
there was also
You
this.
heard and saw nothing.
Yeah,
There was also this story that they did pull back their lawsuit. But do you guys really think that happened? I mean, for that, maybe they were just saying that because they know they did something wrong. I mean, it's not a wrong thing for them to make a little video behind an art. Like, they didn't know, you know, and they're not going to look for the person who actually did that. I mean, that's what I was talking about, like having a name next to the graffiti. Maybe they would have been like, okay,
But it's kinda
we'll look for the
different
person. But the fact that they actually put a lawsuit out there for the person, that's kind of like,
That-
okay,
that's kind of
that's
pushing
the
it.
messed up part about the whole thing, I feel.
Yeah.
So,
But the street art thing, like how it works, like when you were saying like they sign their name or anything, but like when it comes to street art, how I understand the graffiti, like the way it's done, that like others are able to understand. Okay, is this artist
this
that did this?
person, yeah,
Right.
because everybody kind of have their style and the
There
way
we go.
No, that's it.
they project their art. So I feel like a big company like H&M to actually use that art for their project, it was a kind of compliment. But the fact that they did not choose the right response to him, maybe they could have just been like, oh, sorry, you know, like we did like your art. It
Yeah.
was a good graffiti. We felt like it projected something strong that we were trying to bring out in our style. That would have been, oh,
Yeah.
okay, like, that's awesome. Like, he would have felt better about himself than having a lawsuit. I felt like they had too much attitude. It was kind of like, no,
Yeah.
excuse you.
Yeah.
Who do you think you are? Like, throwing
Yeah.
shades, you
Yeah,
know,
yeah,
like,
yeah,
here's
yeah,
the job suit. I'm
yeah.
going to sue you for everything you
Yeah.
got, boy.
yeah.
You got nothing, you know?
No, but for real, I felt it like a bit too exaggerated with the lawsuit. Like, I mean, I'm for like just give the man some money.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, there will be a win-win situation, right?
Either
I mean,
that or actually put him in the picture.
Yeah, at least recognize who the artist is.
Tag
we
him
go.
You know,
or
right?
something. Yeah.
Um,
This was
but-
done by Revoke, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
not just
Thanks
like
to Revoke.
steal the art and then try to like, my problem is that they're obsessed with trying to look cool, you know, and then the way they get to that soi-disant big
Yeah.
image is just a disaster.
I feel like everything they're doing is kind of like, okay, they're not doing it properly,
Yeah.
like the way that a big company like that should take on projects, like marketing side of the finances. They're not doing it right. But that it was really great trying to like debunk this story that's going on in the society. I mean, especially everything in the States. I mean, there's so many stories like that we see every day, and it's just like unbelievable. And
Yeah.
there's so many things to talk about it, but we don't have a lot of time to like go really like in depth into this. So like one of the other things that got me shook when I was reading, you know, trying to get my sip of coffee
No, you
in
have
the
to do it,
morning
like,
with the
shook.
newspaper. Exactly, shook.
There we go.
It was the school shooting. Guys, I am
yes.
offended. I am pissed off.
What?
Okay.
No joke. Which
I
one?
am pissed off.
There's so
The
many.
school,
There
the
is so
Florida
many.
school
So
shooting.
many.
Let's talk about that first. The Florida school shooting that happened, not that long ago, and a lot of kids were injured. There were some teachers injured. And the fact is that they're actually planning on giving teachers guns. Like
Or training.
Training.
Military training.
So that they can handle this themselves. Like, you're teaching one day, and then this kid pisses you off.
No.
You pull it out, and you're just like, no, we're not having this.
But you know what? Actually, you know what? There is also talk about not kids just saying, "Okay, I'm pissed off. I'm pulling out my
Yeah.
gun." There is actually
They're gonna be protocols, obviously.
No,
to
but
follow.
it's also no. It's not about that. Or if someone could tell me, oh, because it's violence from movies or violence from video games that causes this, but it's actually mental health. That's the cause of it.
Yeah.
Of someone who is obviously alone, or in some cases like that, or doesn't get support from home at all. You know, the kid can snap.
Yeah.
And loses it.
Yeah, you're right.
That
Like,
is the cause.
When you really go deep into the story, you figure out that the kid actually had some unresolved psychological problems going on. And it was kind of like, okay, you kind of think about it and you're just like, okay, how does a kid have these type of deep problems, like suicidal problems? And you see that none of the teachers actually paid attention to like, okay, this kid there's something not going on. You know, like when we're in high school and primary school, we kind of like learn these things where like their teachers coming on to us like, oh, are you okay? Your homework did some kind of like sloppy, you're getting down, your grades are not that great. Is there something ongoing at home? They ask that. They're like, is there something going on at home? But I feel like nowadays teachers don't really pay, it's not their job anymore. And like the whole fact that they're not getting paid enough, there's too much people in the classroom, it feels like it's not your problem anymore. So all they're there, they come in the morning, have their sip of coffee, teach you what they gotta do, you do the homework or you don't, you pass or not, and you out.
Yeah.
Skirt, you out. You know, they're not there for them.
Or you know what? They don't even teach it all. Here's a pamphlet.
Yeah.
There's a school.
My favorite PowerPoint slides.
Copy everything on the board.
I'll post the notes on layout.
Legit, I have a teacher like that. It's just like he comes in the class, put the PowerPoint. All right, read this.
But that's the thing. It's not the
Moving
same
on.
thing,
It's
though.
like-
We're in college,
You learn anything?
but it's not the same thing as being in a secondary school or elementary school. These are actually kids. Teachers are supposed to be protectors. You know, they're supposed to guide them. And feeling that they didn't really know what was going on was, you know, it's kind of disappointing. You know, they're teachers. They're trained to guide students that way, and it just felt like that wasn't at all the case. I'm not
then
blaming
again,
the
the
teachers,
teachers-
but it's just
we can't just talk about how the teachers have failed the system or how the system has failed
The
their
system.
children in and of itself. I think that, as you said, it is a mental health issue, and it's time that we start treating it as a mental health
Right.
issue. Yes, mental health does have a huge role to play with all of these incidents, but I think that the fact that someone who can't even drink yet can buy a firearm is also a problem. We cannot ignore the elephant in the room, that is how easy it is to get a firearm
And it
in
feels
the
like
US.
in the-
It's the
you-
US with
and
the loose. It's like
honestly-
there's no control.
is
Yeah.
no- there
You
is
can
Come
even
to
actually
me-
go to
come
Walmart
to
and
me-
just buy a gun.
Honestly, come and tell me that, oh no, guns don't kill people. Okay, I'm gonna need to
no.
like,
But think about
you
it.
need
But
to
think
not.
about it
You need
because
to not.
there's the difference. There's the weapon and then there's the person.
Yeah.
I mean, is that person behind that tool?
Exactly.
Because you can lay the gun right here and it won't shoot anybody, right? It's unless someone takes up that gun and then
Yeah.
and it does
But
kind of
my
feel,
question is, how does that person get to the gun on the table? Why is it so easy for the gun to be on the table? Which is
Especially-
why the issue comes in. Which is why
especially
we
in
have
the
to do
state.
something for mental health. We have to do something for gun regulation. I'm not saying take away all of the guns. No, I'm saying make it hard for someone to walk into a store and 15 minutes later come out with a gun.
The funny thing, here in Canada, we have like, in order for someone to get a gun, they have to go through.
There's a lot of
these
strict
procedures,
rules.
Yeah.
like
You
a,
go
Yeah.
to
like a
the
screening.
school, you have to go
through screening. And they have to do some background
They
checks.
do
to know
inspections.
if you're a
Yes.
criminal or something like that.
Yeah.
Yes.
But like compared to the U.S., I mean, they don't really check that. And also, I see that they want to raise the minimum age to have guns, like from 17 to 21.
and it is
like-
kind of
was it 18?
hypocritical
18 or
because it kind of
17?
feels like they have these laws that it's kind of like so strict, like make America great again, and it's kind of like, oh, you can't drink until you're 21, and it's like,
The
and then,
irony, right?
and then when it comes to the big issue of like having someone's like life in your hands, getting gun, and like just being like, oh, you don't deserve to live, bye,
And I think that
and it's just Hello, wake
One
up.
thing also that has a big part in this, again, talking about gun control, is the fact that so many members of the government are taking in money from the NRA, which is a huge problem because it's like we all know that money runs the world. It's not, if I tell you this, no one's even shocked. But when you see to what, right? When you actually see it concretely to what point money has a hold on people, it just becomes disgusting because it's like, how many school shootings do we need for you guys to start caring about your goddamn
And it hasn't
citizens?
been the first one.
You know what I mean? Like, there have been so many school shootings since Sandy Hook, which was like a while ago. And you want to tell me that you still have done nothing to regulate guns? How many more kids, how many more blood do you guys need to see for you to finally realize that, actually, you know what? Maybe we should do something about guns.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
They still haven't stepped their foot down.
No,
They
But
still
no,
haven't.
it's also an issue that's really been putting a scare to other people. Like in Canada, I remember when I was in high school, there used to be this drill of like when a shooter walks into the school. Like my school
right,
used to
no,
be this
I
drill,
remember
and it
that.
kind of like they did it, and we had to like hide behind the desk, and like the teacher had to do this thing where she's like on the other side of the desk, and you close the door, and it was just kind of like, hey, like.
And something you have to post the number.
Yeah, and it was
students
just,
on the door or
it's something
I
that
don't know.
it's spreading, it's now spreading. It's not just in the States
But, I
anymore.
mean,
And it's
it's-
kind of like, those things kind of influence other people and other cities and other countries, and it's not going away.
Yeah.
And you see something like that in a country that's supposed to be so developed, and you're just like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
like what's going on, you know? They're supposed to have these control, have all these rules, figure it out, protocols, help people out when it comes to like mental issues.
Right.
But then when you go to a third world country, you don't really see things like that.
See, but that's the thing as well. Like, should also these news of a student coming into school and shooting, should that also be aired on TV? I mean, yes, it shows like saying drills or not drills, but I mean, it shows like the school is being under attack. But for someone's in the right mind to see like, oh, I could be recognized on TV just by doing this, you know, what's your take on that? Like,
Well, I feel like it obviously should be something that should be aired. The population needs to see what's going on, to see that, hey, something's really going on, you know? Like, it's gone to the point where it's like we have to protect ourselves from the gun and not, like, take the gun from, like, us. It's like somebody always says this, work smart, not hard. You know, and they're working hard to put all these things in place to kind of protect the schools. Like, there's a security system now in front of schools where, like, when you come in, you kind of like you get scanned, right? But it's like you don't have to do that if you had something else to take away the guns that's causing the trouble. You know, putting it all these like rules against it. But I feel like we really have to show the population what's going on. C'est genre, like, I would say this in the French expression, la civilisation de la population. Like, we have to show them that, hey, what's going on is not right. Like, right now, people are fighting as hell to kind of, like, get these things annulled, you know? Like, people are doing petition, walk-ins, and, like, it's something that really has to be, like, aired
But,
out
like,
there.
those are the effects of like airing it, like creating awareness. Like,
Yeah.
people doing those rallies. Like, I also saw on Facebook this high school student that actually organized a walk, and like she addressed the problem. Oh, she addressed the crowd by saying, "I know some of you are here just to skip school, but like you have to really understand what are we
That's
doing
true.
in
that's
school."
that's
we're,
a
we're,
really
we're
good
putting it
answer.
out. We're saying that, look, there's a problem. There are too many school shootings. Like, when are people gonna wake up?
Yeah.
Right.
And like, those are, even though it's small like that, people are waking up. But
Yeah.
like, we're not getting the wake up we want. Like,
So-
we need more than
The
that.
word is
Airing
not
this
spreading
is
out.
actually
Yeah.
it's a good factor, you know. Like, if we're actually gonna have anything done, we need to find solutions.
Yeah.
So it's not just only talking about it in like a round table and like there has to be solutions. And I feel like a lot of people have been stepping up after what happened. Okay, like there was this photo I saw. There was a shoes on the field. It was like a shoe representing every student that got killed.
Wow.
It was it was a whole field. It could like fill of football. You know, it amazes someone to see something like that. You know, that's why we can't just talk about these issues and be like, oh wow, you know, ignore it. Flip to the next page. Flip to the next picture. We have to find solutions. So I think we did touch a lot of bases today. Like. It's been nice, you know, getting a take of everybody's input and like finding out what they thought about it. I want to thank you all for coming here, sharing your view with us, with the H&M. You know,
Might hit up McD's, you know.
Oh my God.
Oh wait, like the secret menu. Yeah, that's the
Oh, can we talk
So
about that,
restaurant
please? Can we talk
secret
about that,
menu.
please?
Oh.
Or that'll be another
But
time.
so
cheeseburger. Like
So-
extra cheese.
So thank you guys for joining the Vanier View. I appreciate it. It's been great listening to all the subjects and inputs you guys had to put in it. Thank you guys for joining us on this episode of Vanier View. We'll see you next time on the next episode. Bye. A nice
Deuces.
boomerang. Bye.